Today is Wednesday, June 18, 2014, the 169th day of the year. There are 196 days remaining until the end of 2014. Sunrise today is at 5:06 a.m. The sun sets at 8:37 p.m. Length of daylight hours today is 15 hours, 31 minutes, 2 seconds. 14 seconds longer than yesterday. Tomorrow's daylight will persist 9 seconds longer than today. The waning gibbous moon, 21 days old, rises with 65.5% illumination at 11:52 p.m. today and sets at 11:35 a.m. Thursday, passing above Rutland City at 229,145 miles distant from the center of planet Earth within the 12th zodiacal designation, Pisces, the fish. Born this day in 1886, George Mallory in England, noted mountain climber. Mallory joins 3 British attempts to climb Mount Everest in the early 1920s. Between the 8th and 9th day of June 1924, Mallory and his climbing partner Andrew Sandy Irvine disappear on Everest's northeast ridge as they attempt to reach the summit. When last seen, they are 800 vertical feet from their goal. 75 years later, on May 1, 1999, the Mallory and Irvine research expedition finds Mallory's remarkably well-preserved sun-bleached mummified body and conducts an Anglican funeral service. No trace of Sandy Irvine's remains have ever been found. It's Mallory who, when they ask why he wants to climb Mount Everest, famously replies, "Because it is there." Passed along the way in the obscure Roman emperor department, Leo III The Isaurean, also known as the Syrian, even though he isn't Syrian, is Byzantine emperor from 717 CE when he's 32 until he dies on this day at 54 in 741 CE. And what a loss, even though he's so obscure, it's as if he never existed. As if he were never even here, which he was in a major way. Against odds, he kept the faith, kept his empire together. In Leo's day, the early 8th century of the Christian era, the Syrians rule an empire that stretches from the Iberian Peninsula in the west through the extent of North Africa and Palestine, encompassing the Levant, northward deep into eastern Anatolia, and eastward to the edges of the Indian subcontinent in South Asia, with capitals at Damascus, Cordoba, and Haran in Upper Mesopotamia. We don't know about these guys in our school textbooks because they're Moorish Arabs, pretty much dark-skinned, heavy-duty tribal guys, and darned if it wouldn't just fly in the face of prevalent Western civilization myth-making to acknowledge the Arabs once controlled pretty much all of the civilized world, while Europeans were still crawling in the mud and living in houses made of sticks and cow dung. These early millennium Syrians are the characters who crushed Roman hegemony, the same guys on the road to Baghdad today. And Leo the Isaurean, he's not buying it. He's badass. He also wants his people to stop worshipping images. He's the inventor of iconoclasm, definitive. Although Byzantium is wall-to-wall imagery, cool architecture too. Nowadays, we still do this, a lot of this, too much. So obviously the Isaurean's work doesn't affect us much. We see things differently in the 21st century. Nothing is what it really is. Everything's an icon. An old building's an icon. A well-designed sports car is an icon. A sexy woman is an icon. Elvis is an icon. We get around biblical prescription of idol worship by calling our idols icons instead, because we don't know what an icon is. Jesus used to be an icon. Now baseball players are icons. VanityFair.com has a slideshow on the most iconic bangs through history. Seriously? Yeah, so hair is now iconic. History, starting with Audrey Hepburn, then Bardot, Jane Birkin, and the very historic Rooney Mara. Yeah, I watched it. We've become sensationally easy to please. A well-grilled melted cheese sandwich is as much of an icon as, say, Mickey Mouse. We're postmodern. We eat up one icon, we drop another onto the grill and cook up some more. Listen, if you can't make a little plasticine model out of it and stick it on the dashboard of your car, a bobblehead doll or a hula dancer in the rear window, it's not an icon. Leo the Isaurean, remember him? He's the guy we were talking about, got this one right 1,200 some years ago. Bertrand Russell is a Welsh philosopher, historian, logician, mathematician, advocate for social reform, pacifist. He writes, "The fundamental cause of the trouble is that in the modern world the stupid are cocksure while the intelligent are full of doubt." From Rutland, Vermont, this is Richard Alcott.